What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Now, before we get to Jake's interview, this is the Decklist that he used to win at Louisiana States. And as you see, it is a Mega Manectric deck with Toad and Suicune. And I ask, why do you play the Suicune and what is it good for and stuff like that. And the Manectric, what he used for. And just to let you know, you cannot Turbo Bolt to a Suicune because of Safeguard. And trust me, Jake does know this. He's gotten a lot of negative stuff said to him because people always thought he Turbo Bolted Suicunes. But trust me, he does not do that. But the deck revolves around rough seas to heal your Mega Manectrics, kind of just like revolve around them. Play the one max potion, kind of heal him and ask, does he want more of that card? And as you see, you can use, like I said, you can use Size of Toad, you can use Grenade Hammer or Quake a Punch. And he talks about why Size of Toad EX is good overall. But hopefully you enjoyed the interview, and thanks for watching. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today I do another States question answer video with Jake. And Jake, where are you from?
I'm from Mississippi.
Okay, and what states did you play at?
Louisiana.
Alright, so how did you end up doing a Swiss?
I was 5-1-1, second seed going into Top Cut.
Okay, and what were the decks that you played against, and did you win or lose against?
Okay, round one I played against a Polka Dad from Texas that was playing a Yveltal deck, and since I was playing the Manectrics, I kind of just turbo bolted a bunch of stuff. He tried to... Actually, no, he just didn't even play the Shadow Circle, so there's really not much he could have done in any of the situations.
Okay.
And round two, I played against a Yveltal Flareon deck, which is basically the same thing happened. He did play the Shadow Circle. I was just, I played 4 Rough Seas, so I bumped them anytime they came out.
Okay.
And I kind of just turbo bolted a bunch of things again. Round three, I played against a Manectric Toads Crobat.
Okay.
Game one, I didn't quite have a game plan as to what I wanted to do, and halfway through game one, I realized he had no way of effectively dealing with the Safeguarder. But by the time I'd realized that, it was too far gone. So I scooped that game, and then game two, I won. And then game three, we didn't have time to finish. Okay. So that ended in a tie. Then round four, I played against a Manectric Empoleon Black Curum deck, and it was a lot of fun. What ended up happening was I played down a Suicune and just sat behind it for the entirety of game one, and I would hit a Manectric for 70, and then by the time he rushed in, retreated, brought up a new one, sniped for the overrun, and then healed the damage. By the time a new one came up, he had already completely healed the first one. So game one lasted all of 50 minutes, and I only just barely got it with about 1 minute left when I was able to retreat into a Manectric Turbo Bolt, and then Lysander something and Turbo Bolted again for the last 2 prizes.
Okay, okay.
Round 5, I played against a Manectric Dragonite deck with Frisian in it. He also didn't have any answers to Suicune, so early in the match I would just send up a Suicune to make him have to play around it. He played a Tropius, but that only does more damage when you put energy on the Suicune, so I just powered up my Manectrics while he couldn't attack the Suicune, and then I Lysandered the Tropius, killed it, and then just sent in Suicune and just hit until we finished.
Okay, okay.
Then round 6, I played against Toadpuff, and he played a bunch of Crushing Hammers and Lasers, and he actually played Pokemon Catcher instead of Lysandre, and I couldn't do anything. He just beat me twice. It was bad. I tried my hardest, couldn't do it. And then round 7, I played against Flareon, and I won 2 games in a row because game 1, I got a turn 2 Mega Manectric hitting with a catcher onto his Eevee with a Bangle and a double, and I was able to catcher the next 2 EVs that came down, and his last double was prize, so he just scooped. And then game two, he ended up hitting two fresh Mega Manectrics for only 200 damage.
Mm.
And then I was able to max potion and trump card, and then he just scooped after that.
So dirty.
I know. Sorry.
Alright, so you're in top 8. Are you nervous at all? Are you excited? What's up?
I'm nervous. I don't know. I figured out who I'm playing against, which is Brent Savinkettle, and I'm playing against him in top 8. And he's playing the Frisian Genesect deck. And one thing I've noticed all day is I've seen him play a few times, and I never saw him play down the Deoxys. And that's a really big card because it helps the Genesect hit for that 210 on the fresh Mega Manectrics.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if he just never saw the need in playing it, or he just actually did not play it. But so throughout our games, I'm wondering that the whole time. But after the games, he tells me he took it out for a Frozen City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, was that like an easy 2-0 kind of game?
I wouldn't necessarily say it was an easy 2-0. It's just the Mega game 1 by turn 3. I had 3 Mega Manectrics out with Rough Seas, and I was able to max potion one that he hit up to about 170 damage.
Okay.
So with what I do in any Frisian Genesect matchup is always catcher any Genesect that's getting energy put on it. So if it does decide to go for the G booster, I can knock it out and not let the G booster take 2 straight EX knockouts on me.
Yeah.
And I could just kind of do that game plan, and it worked well.
Okay.
And then in game 2, he just went nuts. It was crazy. He hit my Mega Manectric. Actually, turn 1, I just kind of draw, and the only supporter I have in my hand is Zerasic, and he just attached a plasma energy to his Virizion and passed. So I hit off the plasma energy, and then just attach an energy and move on. And next turn, I draw a Juniper. So I'm like, yay, I can do it. And he tells me that if I hadn't... No, wait, no, that's a different game. Never mind. That didn't happen in the tournament. So he hits for a lot of damage with Virizions. Like, he was able to hit my Manectric 3 times before I got an attack off with it. And so he just gets up a regular Genesect, kills one Mega Manectric, and then with a Megalo Cannon, and then kills another one with a G booster. But that puts him with no energy on board.
Okay.
And then after, I'm able to knock out the Genesect that he brought up because I was able to overrun it up to 60 and then hit it for 110.
Okay.
And so that leaves him with no energy in board. Then I'm able to get a second Mega Manectric set up and just switch him out and Rough Seas and Lysander for game. So that was that game.
All right. Very nice.
Thank you.
So what happened? Okay, you good.
I was saying, in top 4, I played against the same person I played against round 3 with the Manectric Toads deck.
Okay.
And I had a game plan for it this time, so I just sent up a Suicune and just kind of let him hit at it with bats and such. And there was about 3 or 4 turns that went by where he just didn't do anything, because if he just simply played a Golbat, played another Golbat, and then just kind of passed and waited for the Crobat, I was able to Rough Seas a bunch of that damage off. So he had to wait for 1 turn where he could get one big Crobat play with like 2 Crobats and a Golbat, and then attack with the Crobat to kill the Suicune.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that forced him to just make awkward plays. And in the time he was doing all that, I was setting up Mega Manectrics on the bench to where I could just get one up, Turbo Bolt, set up another one, and then just start hitting things. And in game 2, the same thing basically happens.
Okay. All right. So now you're in the finals. You're sweating right now, or are you pretty good?
I was rather upset. I don't know how I felt about it.
You were upset. Why was that?
because I'm playing against the guy that beat me 2-0 round 6. So at this point, I'm like, oh no, he's gonna do it again. And so we sit down to play, and we talk about the games, and he's like, "Oh man, you're gonna beat me. Oh, I don't know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be bad." And I'm like, "Oh no, you're gonna get me." And then saw this banter. It's Rudy Paris.
Mm.
Me and him have been good friends for a while. And so game one starts. He goes first. He starts Lone Jirachi, and he has two battle compressors in his hand. So he plays the two battle compressors, gets the Swampert, Archie's, Lysander, and then three other cards,
Okay.
like Team Argot, and then just other stuff you want to discard to use for Versa Seeker. And then he just attaches a double to his Jirachi and passes. So I'm like, this could be subpar for him. So I go, all I have is a Manectric on field with two energy, a Mega Manectric, a Skyla, and a Juniper in hand. I think I had like some other random card that wasn't important. So I just attach Skyla for the Spirit Link and attach it to the Manectric and pass. He draws. It's a Toad. He benches it, puts a Muscle Band on it, and passes. So I'm able to Mega Evolve, attach Juniper into a just basically nothing just spectacular. It's just a bunch of playable cards. And then I killed the Jirachi, and he can't do much after that. He sends up the Toad. He draws. It's another Toad. He benches it. I kill that active Toad, and then he just scoops, and we go into game two.
Okay.
And in game two, he gets a much better start. We both start out with Seismitoads, and the Seismitoads, really, I just put the Seismitoad in for the Seismitoad matchup. I was like, well, if you can't beat them, join them. Because every time I tried to use like Suicunes or Manectrics to counter the Toad, it just didn't work. So I was like, ooh, it's bad. So we go, and I learned about halfway through the match that, or at least I deduce, that he's only playing two Verbanks, because that's all I ever saw in Swiss, and every time he would get to where he'd used two of the Verbanks, he would just trump card and put them back in.
Okay.
So I'm thinking he's only playing two Verbank, and I'm playing four Rough Seas. So what ends up happening is we both have Seismitoads out, and I'm Quaking Punching, and he's Quaking Punching. And neither one of us have any sort of damage addition things, so we're basically just... He's setting up his hand. He's got like 20 cards in his hand at one point. I was like, oh man, if he gets these trainers, I'm gonna have a bad time.
Yeah.
And then, but what ends up happening is I can just set up my Manectrics on the bench while I'm sitting behind the Toad, stopping him from doing anything.
True.
And so the game goes, and there's one point where he Lysandre's up a Suicune, and I have no way of moving it because I've been putting energy on my Toad in fear of Team Flare Grunts and Zerasics.
Okay.
Because I know that's certainly my game plan, is to Zerasic his double and then Quaking Punch and hope he can't get another one to break his lock.
Yeah, true.
So I just let the Suicune die to poison, which takes a long time. He gets a bunch of crushing hammers and such off, but I am able to eventually get another Seismitoad, or get the Seismitoad back up, and he doesn't crushing hammer all the energy off. He leaves one on it, so I put another double back on, and then I just start Quaking Punch, and then even if he does get his Jurassic, I keep an energy in hand so I can keep the lock up.
Okay.
And I ended up Lysandering up a Jirachi, and then what ends up happening is I hit the Jirachi for 30, he heals 20, or heals 10 with his Jinx that he's playing, and what that ends up, that means that the Jirachi is stuck there an extra turn, so that gives me an extra turn to use my items. And in that time, I get another Lysandre and Zerasic. So he has two doubles in play, and I'm going to make him, or at least try and make him, have to discard one. and then that would mean if I can make him discard one, and then Zerasik off the active, he will be out of double colorlesses, and I can just Quaking Punch for the game. But
True.
it turns out one's prized, so I killed the Drauchi with Quaking Punch, then Alessandra the Jinx, and stick it there, and then he just scoops because he has no way of moving. And then that's it.
Well, there you go. So congratulations on winning, sir.
Thank you.
All right. So in your list, you only play one max potion. Did you ever want more than that? Because you talk about max potioning your Manectrics a lot.
It's certainly nice to have a bunch. It's just I can never seem to hit a bunch of them. Like I feel like they'd only or last week I played 3, and they were really only ever really good if I could hit them in succession to stop multiple turns of damage. But I took them out to fit the 4 rough seas,
Okay.
and the one with 3 Skylas and 4 Versus Seeker is actually plenty enough to be able to just get it when you really need it. And then plus, if push comes to shove, you can always trump card it back in.
That's very true. All right. So what made you decide to play the Manectric Suicune deck?
I've liked Mega Manectric ever since it came out. I just feel like it's such a strong card in of itself. Other than the fact that it has some obvious bad times against Landorus and Lucario, and really anything that just can do a lot of damage to it for little.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then the Suicune just says it kind of picks up where Manectric loses as to the Landorus and fighting decks in general. And plus, Suicune is just really good to where, let's say one turn I can't find a Spirit Link and I really need to Mega Evolve, I can just send up the Suicune Mega Evolve, and then he's just a good wall that can also attack. The 70 plus 110 for Turbo Pult knocks out most EXs, so it's just really nice in general.
Now, you talked about playing Size Toad just to beat the other Size Toad decks. Did you ever use Grenade Hammer at all?
I did one time in top 4.
Okay.
No, it was Swiss, that's what it was, against this Manectric Toads deck to knock out his Toad and break his lock. Effectively breaking his lock, because he only played 2 Seismitoads. And it's also really helpful since all but one of my Pokemon in my deck are either Lightning or Electric. Wait, no, Water or Electric.
Yeah.
I can just hit 2 things for the 30 and then rough seize the damage off.
Yeah, true.
And so I didn't try to do it much because I do play only 3 water energies. I just mainly did it as I don't want to have to move him. And since I already had the 2 regular energy on, because I knew he played the Zerasik, I just attached the 3rd one, and that helped me speed up the process.
Now, you only talk about playing the 3 water. Did you ever want more than that, or you think the 3 was enough?
I certainly think 3 was enough, because I play... One thing that I didn't do the first 2 weekends was play as heavy on the Skylas, and the Skylas are very good, being able to search things. Because most of the turns, I'm not trying to just go off and explode. I'm just trying to get piece by piece what I need for each matchup. So, being able to Skyla for a Professor's Letter to get the waters, there were a few times where I was like, I really need a water, or 1 water's prized, and I would have liked more, but at the same time, in the great scheme of things, 3 was always plenty, because I could never use more than 2 Suicunes in a game, because if they can get through the first and the second, they can probably get through the third. The third's just there as a kind of it's kind of a backup in case one's prized and the first one goes down.
Now, did you ever want a trump card or anything like that? Oh, you did play trump card. Sorry, I didn't see it there for a second. Oh, never mind. Answer my question.
Actually, I don't know how I feel about the trump card, though.
Oh, okay.
Because throughout the entirety of the tournament, I never got to use it.
Okay.
Other than against the Flareon deck. So, I don't know how I feel about it. It's certainly nice to have to be able to just dump in all your things, but at the same time, most of the matches I planned on using it in, my opponent played the trump card instead, so mine just kind of sat in the discard.
Okay.
So
You talked
certainly,
about. Oh, were you good?
oh yeah, I'm good.
Oh, okay, sorry. Alright, so we talked about changing your deck some. Would you change anything else, or you think it's pretty good as it is?
Um, Really, the main changes I made were taking out useless attackers like Zapdos for the Toads. I really like that change. And the only change I could consider making at this point was taking out a Suicune for a Seismitoad EX. And I don't know quite how I feel about that, but it's certainly something I would be interested in trying.
Okay. So, how many championship points are you at currently?
250.
250. Have you maxed out your elite challenges yet?
I don't have any from League Challenges yet.
Hopefully, you can get your 50 from there, right?
Or something, I hope so.
Yeah. Now, are you going to go to any regionals coming up?
Yes, I'm going to go to the ones in Athens, Georgia.
And I know that is a totally different format and over a month and a half away, but do you think Mega Manectric will still have a chance in that format?
Yes. If nothing more from the fact that if he doesn't have a chance, then somebody else will have a chance to help him in his chance. Does that make sense? I don't think it did. Just get what I'm trying to say.
Get like another sidekick for Mega Manectric?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright,
Because
there you go.
I'm looking forward to the Rayquaza coming out.
Mhm.
He has 210 HP, and he's 2 times weak to lightning. So, even though Altaria is a thing, I can only hope the Manectric will stay good.
True. Alright. Well, do you want to give any shout outs to anybody?
Yes, I'd like to give a shout out to Brad Curcio and Brandon Cantu for helping me out with my list after Mississippi States.
Okay.
They're the ones that gave me the idea to play 3 in and 2 Colress instead of 4-1, and that was a very good change. I really liked having the 2 Colress because I always just filled my bench up, and most other decks did the same.
Mhm.
So I was able to Colress for 9 and 10 multiple times in the game.
Okay.
And then also, I'd like to give a shout out to Brent Sivenkettle that he gave me he's always been a good guy to me. He gave me a good pep talk after after we got done playing in top 8, and I felt like that really helped me get through the rest of the tournament.
What did he say to you?
He's just like, now Jake, I know we've had our tournaments. We've won some, we've lost some. Now, I believe in you. You're gonna be rooting for you the whole way. Can you do it? I don't know, but I would hope to think you can. So, just keep calm and find the inner point of focused and determined, and you'll do great. And then I did that, and then I did great. So I was like, thanks, Dad.
Maybe he needs to give you a pep talk after every game or something like that.
I know, I'm going to have to talk to him so I can schedule him in for a pep talk before every round.
Alrighty, man. Well, congratulations on winning, and thanks for doing this interview.
Sure thing, thanks for having me.
Alrighty, bye.
Bye.